Senate Veterans, Military, and Homeland Security Committee to order. Just first and foremost, I wanted to welcome everybody and also just share with you a little on a personal note. This week I had a dinner with General Cardin, and as I was leaving there, and assuming this role as chairman of this committee, just how much it meant just to think of that PV1 that I was in the infantry as a young soldier, and to go from remembering that kid and to think, well, could I've ever imagined that I'd be in the Georgia State Senate, much less of anything else, and chairing this committee. It's quite an honor, and just to realize where you've come from and where you're at. And I always said, it's the greatest lesson I've learned in life is just always remember where you came from, man. So, and that's where you find the honor in all this. We'll go ahead and start. I'm gonna ask, would you open us up in a word of prayer, Senator Steele?
As the newest member of the committee, please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful day, this beautiful weather. Thank you for this committee and the good work that it does. Father, please just keep us focused on you and focused on the people that we serve. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Thanks, sir. All right, we're going to start I've got the agenda. I've added a resolution. I think everybody on the committee has pretty much signed the resolution, so we'll start with SR 527. This is a resolution creating a Senate Study Committee on Veterans' Mental Health and Housing, and to going forward. And that's I'll open the floor. Is there any discussion on Senate Resolution 527? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and from the rest of the committee, congrats on your new chairmanship. Look forward to working with you. This is a really important resolution that I'm excited that this new committee is going to get started on. We hear a lot about veterans and political messaging. What I'm really excited about with this committee is that, based on my understanding of the subjects that it's going to cover, is that this really hits the ground running in terms of the actual policies that matter. It's one thing to sort of, take bites around the edges of these issues over the years, but to dedicate an entire study committee, not just to one issue like housing or mental health, but to really take on all of it holistically, is going to put the nonprofits who do holistic services and wraparound services in a position to provide us with real substance to work on in 2025 and beyond. So I'm really excited to be part of that effort, and I'm really grateful that you're carrying it. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Well, and I think that a lot of that's just, we have, I think we're the 5th state in the nation for the number of veterans and military we have in our state, and so that's just a huge component, especially for those who've served us for a lifetime, and they choose to live here and stay here. Then we need to make sure we're doing everything we can for them in return. So, who's number 6?
Number 6, that's me.
Senator Kirkpatrick.
Thank you for bringing this. Some estimates that I've heard are that somewhere around 25% of our homeless population are veterans. And in my 2 counties, Cherokee and Cobb, we have been working to address this issue. We have a very vigorous homeless veteran program in Cherokee, and also a program in Cobb that is coming our way from tunnels to towers. So each county can do what they can do, but I think taking a bigger picture look at it on behalf of the state, there's so many challenges, and there's so much confusion frequently between what the feds do and what the locals do and what the state does. I think this is going to be a really enlightening committee, and I fully support it. So thank you for bringing it.
Well, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Well, I will entertain. What's the will of the committee?
Move to pass.
Senator Steele?
Move to pass SR 527 version LC 460774.
I have a motion to pass. I have second.
Second.
Senator McLaren with a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by saying no. It passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. All right, now we'll move back to the agenda. I will go ahead and call Senator Strickland. Senator Strickland, we are Senate Bill 375, and we are working from, well, there it is, LC 460748.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations on your new role. My first time in front of this committee, and I think it's your first hearing as well, I'm gathering, so congrats on the new role. Happy to be here with you all tonight or this evening with Senate Bill 375. Not night yet. This bill is very straightforward. As we continue to work together, especially these last few years, to do a better job of managing mental health issues in our state, this is one of the things that we have come across is looking at Behavioral Health Coordinating Council. And you'll see in the bill the people who are currently on this council. And this council, one of the main jobs they have is coming together and collaborating and working together to deal with how to handle behavioral health issues in our state. Hence the name Coordinating Council, and that's one of the things they're charged with. Missing from this is the Commissioner of Veterans Service, and obviously this committee gets this more than anybody else around here. When you look at issues around behavioral health, it's I don't know why we didn't think before, honestly, to include the Commissioner of Veterans Service in this group as well. The only other change in the bill on the second page, just in the drafting of this, is suggested that we be consistent. Instead of calling it Lieutenant Governor, we have the President of the Senate when it comes to the appointments that are made to this council as well. So that's all this bill does. Happy to answer any questions anybody has.
All right, you do have a question, Senator Kirkpatrick?
I'm sorry to confuse matters, but thank you. I serve on the Behavioral Health Coordinating Council, and one of the things that is in another bill that's moving through the process right now is that the commissioners can't always be there in person, and so the bill that is in regulated industries is saying commissioner or designee, and so we can either add that to Veteran Services, or we can come back and fix it later, however you think is the best way to do it. But the commissioners themselves can't always be at the meetings for various scheduling reasons, so I don't know if it's better to address that now or later.
The vice,
Is that a suggestion to add designee?
Yeah, I just want to ask the senator
I can
how.
lean on legislative council. I had a discussion this morning about your bill, and the suggestion I had was to go ahead and move forward with this one, and we could get that sorted out as we move both bills, hopefully. But at the same time, I don't know if there's any harm in adding, or we say his or her designee. Is that the word in your bill? Is that how we do
I
it?
think it just says or designee.
Or designee.
But
So, but you're right. So our bills will be conflict with each other if they both pass. We'll have to address that in the process. If it's cleanest, we can move the bill out as it is and address it as we move forward, unless someone has a better idea.
Any other questions?
Okay.
okay, we can do it later. I just
Okay.
know that we're going to have to
We're gonna have to do that,
address
yeah.
it. So, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Could you get the sign-up sheet?
No one has signed up to speak, but I'll give them.
No one? Well, thank you, sir.
I can ask.
All right. Sir McCurran.
No, this is like some nerd stuff. So is there?
I brought my code book, so.
Oh, good. You might need your
Fire away,
constitution,
Josh.
though. Is there any meaningful difference between lieutenant governor and president of the Senate legally, or is it just a term? I mean, for example, if you had a Senate rules package that moves some things around, would the president of the Senate always be lieutenant governor, or could it change depending on the rules package?
I think it could change depending on the rules package,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
That's my understanding. I believe it's designated president of the Senate, which under
Gotcha.
current rules is lieutenant governor.
Okay. So, yeah, small cleanup bill.
Small cleanup bill.
Yeah.
You never know.
Small cleanup. Leave it to the.
But to be fair, my understanding is if you look at the other commissions we've done where you have appointments,
yeah.
we've been saying the president of the Senate. It may matter one day. I don't know.
Well, you know that
Then we can
my
always
greatest
change it,
my
then.
greatest loyalty is to consistency in terms in the code. So
I figured you'd like that.
thank you, Senator.
Until you're lieutenant governor, but not the president of the Senate. But other than that, yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. We have the will of the committee.
Move to pass.
Second.
I have a motion to move due pass by Senator Kirkpatrick.
Anderson.
Senator Anderson with a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. It passes
Thank you.
unanimously.
Thank y'all.
All right, now we'll move on to Senator Williams and Senate Bill 385, and we're working from LC 460717. Is that what LC you have?
LC 460717?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You may
sir.
go ahead.
That's what I have. This is a very simple bill. What this does, it allows Georgia Military College to expand their 2-year online leadership college program to a 4-year program. And who better could explain this than the president of the college? So if I could turn it over to him, and he could answer any questions you have and get into the details. But again, congratulations on your chairmanship.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
How are you doing, sir? Would you please announce
Sir, I'm,
who you are and where you're from?
Yes, sir. I'm Lieutenant General retired Bill Caldwell, and I serve as the president of Georgia Military College from Milledgeville, Georgia. Originally from Columbus, Georgia, though. Chairman and members of the panel, I'll just real quickly, I'll just give you a broad overview. As you know, we currently do offer a 4-year online degree program. What we're asking permission to is expand those offerings within that 4-year online leadership program we have. Our program was built to focus on the military, the active, the Guard, and the Reserve, and we've had quite a calling from members asking us to expand it to their families, make it more readily available for the families. And in doing so, they've asked us to provide these expanded offerings of both a BA and a BS, in addition to the BAS that we currently were approved by the General Assembly when I first got here to offer in the online leadership college. We do not offer this in-seat. You can only do it through the online leadership college. You may realize that we work on a quarter system, which works very, very well for the military. I mean, my son just came back from Estonia with his deployment, and as they move in and out, to go to a semester is difficult for anybody. We stay quarter, so you can literally come in and go out 5 different times a year with us. So we've built that program to be very, very user-friendly to the armed forces. As you know, our mission is to build on the military heritage of Georgia Military College, grounding in the core values that we believe in of duty, honor, and love of country. And what we find is those serving in uniform very much appreciate that and enjoy being and around and associated with members who've signed up to be a part of that program to provide the support for them. We are very much a hope and opportunity. It's in our mission statement. We're directed to do that, and we're open admissions. So what you find in our entire college is predominantly young men and women that probably don't have the opportunity to go to a region school because they don't have the admission standards to get there. We are open admissions, so if you show up with a GED, we admit you. We have remedial programs. We very much pride ourselves in the fact that we help prepare young men and women that walk in to be much more capable and ready to move on and take college courses as they do that. And the big thing about this expansion is there's zero cost to the state. There is no additional funding or requirements that are required to do this. It's just, we've got a program already built. We'll just expand the offerings that are there right now for those who wish to take advantage of that.
How many do you anticipate the expansion reaching, as far as growth of numbers?
So we've done some modeling. We think we could be supporting in the armed forces anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 military members, both active, Guard, and Reserve, and their family members.
Okay. Any other questions from the committee? Senator Anderson?
Thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
Colonel, for being here. I'm sorry, General. I'm looking at your sleeves. I know better. Air Force, by the way. How your system for family members to be online with through the school? What are your measures for cybersecurity and allowing folks who aren't used to DoD standards to begin to navigate through the system for school?
Ma'am, this is Jody Earwood. He is the Senior Vice President and runs our Global Online Leadership College.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. To address the cybersecurity and to train them on using the online programs. So what we do is a little bit unique. So we do a lot to orientate them. We bring them in and it's called coaching. So when you come into our leadership college, you get assigned one enrollment coach, and that person works with them soup to nuts to get them through the program, get them acclimated to their courses, make sure they can access our systems, make sure they can access their tutoring, which we provide for free, make sure they can get their textbooks, really gets them set up for success so that they can come in and we answer all those questions to alleviate those concerns. Then they get a graduation coach, and that person supports them through the entirety of the program. So the title was picked on purpose because that person's job is to get them to graduation. So we have an assigned person that's the same one when they start to when they finish, that is there to answer their questions, train them on their courses, provide support, so on and so forth. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but it's a more extended. So follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
What about the military's defense against, folks just signing on and being able to access the system, the DoD, the site? I'm sorry, the system, the site.
Just from a general cybersecurity
standpoint.
So I'm going to talk very broad level on this because that is not my area of background. Sure. But we employ a lot of the same systems, go through the same, not accreditation standards, but audits of our systems for security, multi-factor authentication, multiple firewalls, all of that sort of, we have all of that stuff in. Because as a college, we are, even beyond the online program, we are subject to cybersecurity attacks all the time. To the tune of about millions a month. So we invest a lot of money in it. It keeps us up at night worrying about it. But that's one of the things we put a lot of effort into.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the committee? All right, well, I will entertain a motion. Mr. McLaren.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to pass. It's LC 460717.
I have a motion to pass.
Second.
Senator Steele, with a second. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, what is the will of the committee? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Passes.
Thank you. Thank you, committee, very much. This Georgia Military College makes a difference in so many people's lives. A lot of the people that enroll into their college can't even read on the 10th grade level and their GED, and they change their life. And I want to invite all of you to come to Milledgeville sometime to tour this, the old Capitol building, former capital of the state of Georgia. I'd love to have you. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
You'll have a good day. Thank you. All right, next we will call on the good doctor, Senator Kay Kirkpatrick.
Do you want me to go down there? Or
You can just present it from where you are if you'd like.
Number 6. Thank you very much. I'm bringing Senate Bill 398, and this has to do with the Georgia Joint Defense Commission. And some of you may remember that in 2018, we passed Senate Bill 395, which created this commission, and the original idea of the commission was to look out for our bases around the state, and there was concern about an impending federal base realignment and closure commission. That hasn't materialized up to this date. However, what we discovered in the process of our meetings, and I serve on the commission actually as a civilian representing Dobbins, so it's a little bit of a strange thing. But anyway, we've traveled around the state and we have taken a look at the bases, and it turns out there's more to it than just our bases. Our bases really create a much bigger ripple effect with the surrounding subcontractors, the industries in the area, and really full engagement in the community. And so it ends up being more than what it originally set out to be. The tricky part of it has been that we have been administratively attached to the Technical College System of Georgia, and they very graciously hosted us. However, we haven't really had any resources to do much marketing, for example, for our bases to provide to people leaving the military, any projects that we want to do to study anything. And so it's been a little bit difficult to really get traction going with this commission. And so the idea of this bill is to move the commission over to economic development. And they work on economic development, and this really is an economic development issue for the communities that have the bases. It also adds people to the commission from USG and also from a representative of a defense industry contractor to be appointed by the President of the Senate, and a representative of someone engaged in research, military defense research, to be appointed by the governor. And that's essentially what it does. We've discussed it at length with the technical college system, with the economic development department. Everybody's good with it. Economic development thus far feels that they can do what needs to be done, but there may be an appropriation request that comes along with this, depending on what they figure out in terms of staffing the commission. What else? The chair of the commission currently is former Secretary of the Navy, Will Ball, who is great and has been a good leader, and his salary is actually paid by economic development already. I'm not quite sure how that came about, but this just seems like a logical way to make this a bigger mission and to really impact the state, but in particular the communities where these bases are. So with that, that's the gist of the bill, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Are there any questions from the committee?
I will add one thing. The
Yes.
composition of the committee has appointees from the House and the Senate, and the information on the website is not accurate because the chair of the Veterans Committee is normally that's one of the appointees, and so Dave Belton was the chair of the committee in the House, and he left. So the website's not up to date in terms of who the members are, but if anybody wants an up-to-date list, I can get that for you later.
Okay, thank you.
So tag you're it, is
Senator
what I'm
McLaren?
saying.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, just one, I guess, sort of global question about placement under the Department of Economic Development. I look at the mandate, and it's got a lot of words related to military defense, industry defense, research, technology, military families, veterans affairs. It seems like sort of military families and veterans affairs is really more the focus of the economic development piece of it. I assume it's less of like an incubator for defense contractors and more of a worrying about the communities around a military basis.
Exactly.
Right?
It's
Okay.
more about the communities, and one of the things that we have discussed at length at some of our meetings is the difficulties with recruiting and retention around our bases, and also hanging on to the people that are transitioning out of the military. And we hear things like, well, they really were concerned about the retiree military tax exemption, which we passed. They really have been concerned about K-12 education and the ability to enroll their kids early when they get deployed before they actually get there. We passed that. Occupational licensing, I would say we've dealt with that some, and we're continuing to work on that. So these are the things that the commanders of these bases are concerned about just as much as what's going on with the industries and the contractors around. So thank you for pointing that out.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Well, and I think that just helps to clarify the focus and the reason why it was with TCG and why we're staying with economic development, because that really is the focus. So.
Yeah, and just an example of one of the things that came up in that conversation that we haven't been able to do anything with is it would be really great if we could put together a package of information explaining all the benefits of the way our tax structure is, our Hope Scholarship, and all those things. And the commanders don't have anything like that. It would be pretty easy to put that together, but you've got to have someone who can do that. And so that's another reason that we are hoping to move the needle on this.
Great. Thank you, Senator.
Any other questions? We had no one sign to speak to this, so are there any questions from those here? All right, then I will call for what is the will of the committee. Do I have a motion from the committee? I have a motion from Senator McCarron. I have a second from Senator Anderson. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of Senate Bill 398 LC 460760, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Your bill passes. And that is the last bill we have today, and I know it's Savannah Day, and there's a lot of people ready to get down here, so I was trying to move it along quick, just for you, Senator Anderson. And we have no other business for the committee, so we will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, sir.